This is just a quick video on how I'm going to take this t-shirt and make it fit me. This is how I do it. So I take my t-shirt and I lay it out to the best of my ability, as best as I can, with shoulder seams, shoulders, and the neck as flat as possible. Then I take a t-shirt that already fits me, and I'm going to take this t-shirt, I'm going to lay it on top of this t-shirt and cut out around it. And I'm going to match up here where the neck meets the shoulder. I'm going to match this up to the neck here where the shoulder meets the neck. And I'm going to straighten it out. Oops, sorry. Straighten it all out here. Once I've got it all laid out and I've got it as wrinkle free as possible, there's still going to be some wrinkles here, but that's okay. It's just as wrinkle free as you can get it. Make sure you pull up your sleeves here so that the seam lines lay flat as possible around here. Everything matches up to the best of your ability, and then we're going to pin around the edges. Okay, then we go on to our measuring. Instead of measuring, I'm going to show you guys how it is. This is a chalk. Let's see. This is a chalk wheel by Clover. It has this little wheel on the bottom, on the edge right here. And as you roll, powdered chalk, which is in here, gets pushed out. So we're going to take this and just quickly. Right here, when you do your sleeves, you want to make sure you pull your sleeve back to reveal the seam. So you can see the line where the seam is. And you just take your chalk marker or your Sharpie or whatever it is that you're using and just right along the edge. And you just pull it back and right along that edge. And you do it all the way up. And if your corner gets pulled back like this, you adjust your fabric so that that seam is laying flat, and continue marking along. And when you're all done and you're all marked up, take the pins out. Now that the pins have been removed, you should be able to see, I don't know how well you see it, but there's a chalk outline of where that t-shirt was. So now we're going to measure a 1/2 inch. So let's get a better measure. So this is a ruler that I really like as well. It's a quilting ruler, but I really like it because of the markings, the 1/2 inch. So we're going to do a 1/2 inch. And then you're going to do 1/4 inch around the arms. Okay, once you've got both sides done, then you'll cut it out. Alright, now that we got everything cut out, a 1/2 inch here on the side, 1/4 inch here on the sleeves. Now that that's cut out, I'm going to show you how to do the sleeves. So you should have something left over that looks like this. All you do is cut along the seam, cut the seams off. And so that way you just have a plain old sleeve here with nothing lumpy or hard here. So I just cut that off. Okay. And then you're going to cut down here. So you're going to cut that bottom hem off as well. So you see that seam on the inside? Cut it off. Alright, so this is how you do the sleeves. Once you have the sleeves all trimmed up, you need to fold them in half and find the middle. You need to find the middle here on the edge, and then find the middle here, and this is where your shoulder is going to be. So mark them with the pin so you know which one's the middle. And then you're going to lay it out, and then you're going to lay your sleeve from your t-shirt on top. So this is the t-shirt that I used to cut out my main body. And this is the sleeve. So I lined up my shoulder where the top of the sleeve is to the middle marks of the sleeve that's been cut out. And I laid it out, and I laid it as flat as possible. And I had to scooch things around. And then I pinned along the seam line. So now what I'm going to do is, one, double check to make sure that I have enough seam here to sew it together. So for the sleeves, you need 1/4 inch. So for me, that'll be good enough right there. And then I'm going to flip this over. You gotta straighten it all back out now that I did that. But I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to trace the seam line. So once again, just like when you traced around the sleeves when it was all flat, I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to check where my seam line is. And I'm going to get my tracing wheel out, chalk marker, and trace around. Okay, now once I have that, I'm going to pin it right here in the middle. Well, no, I'm not going to pin it in the middle because I need to flip it over. So what I'm going to do is mark it here in the middle. And this comes out. So I'm not using a Sharpie marker because this is chalk and it can brush right off. So now you got to flip it over and do the other side. So I'm going to line this back up, line up the sleeve edges here, and I have just enough fabric here on this sleeve to see. So that would be one side, and this is going to be the other. I'm going to do the exact same thing. And that is how you trace out your sleeve. Let's see. So, and I don't know if you can tell the difference, but one side is not as shallow as the other side. The one, when you go across your back, So from your shoulder and across your back, it's a lot longer than the one in the front. Okay, now that we have our sleeve, one sleeve cut out, we have one sleeve cut out, but I wanted to show you this. This is the front. See how short that line is right there? And this is the back. You see how much longer this line is right here? It's not as poofy over here on this side. It's a little flatter and the line is a little longer. And that's so that you have room movement in your arm to be able to move. And even though this is a knit fabric, it would be the same on a shirt, like a button-down shirt or a fabric that doesn't stretch. You would need that weird shape on your arm in order to have movement. And also when I cut it out the first time, I added 1/4 inch along the trace lines. So the line that I cut is 1/4 inch wider because these lines right here is where we're going to sew. So now we have this and we're going to do it, we're going to lay it on top of the other one. But the thing is, with this one, you're not going to lay it on top like this, because if you did that, you would have 2 sleeve pieces that are the same and they won't fit. One will fit on one side, but the other one won't fit. So what you have to do is turn it over. So your wrong side with the sleeve is facing up. And then you put the sleeve, so you put your wrong sides together. So each side that has a seam, you lay face down. And you line it up. So see, we still have the middle here where I drew the line at, where it comes off of our shoulder, and we're going to line it up with our pins. And we're just going to pin it down just so that it won't wiggle so much. And so then you're going to take it and you're going to straighten it out and make sure that you have enough, which it looks like we do on each side. So now I'm just going to pin the edges here and I'm going to trace around them. Okay, so you can either trace or cut. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. So I got my handy dandy scissors here. I'm just going to cut along that side without cutting the other sleeve. And when I get to that pin, I'm going to take that pin out because I do not want to try to cut through that pin. It will mess up my scissors. Okay, so now I have 2 pieces, and one sleeve will go on one side and one sleeve will go on the other.